Right then, welcome to my review of Cargo. A lot of you guys have been asking me whether I've seen this film. In fact, it's just been hammering out in the comments section recently and on Twitter. If you're not following me, go and follow me on Twitter at Mistakes Reviews. So rather than reply to every single comment, what I thought I would do is just do a review video for this movie. It's worth a review, and it's also worth putting it out to you guys to kind of see your thoughts on it, because it is somewhat divisive. A lot of people just rate it as very, very good, but a few of the comments coming through here and there are mixed in some regards to some of the things which they set up in this film. But what we'll do is we'll discuss non-spoilers first, then we'll go into spoilers. But it is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, please go out and watch it, because it's definitely worth it. It is 100% worthwhile watching, even if you just get it on a month trial. It's a worthwhile watching film, and it's also a really, really good take on a zombie trope. Funnily enough, yesterday, and this is probably what spurred this on with all the comments, I reviewed Maggie, which is small in scope and focuses very centrically on characters and their personal struggle with a post-apocalyptic zombie event. And Cargo is very, very much the same. Kind of. There are some differences, obviously, but it's not massive in scope. It's a little bit bigger than Maggie in kind of the scope and the setting and things like that, but it is very close-knit. It's very character-driven and very emotional in that aspect as well. So we'll kind of discuss the story, what it's about, why and how it kind of came around as well. So it's set in Australia. Why? Well, one, tax breaks. The screenwriter and director, Yolanda, she is an Australian. And also the fact that it's a great setting. It's an awesome setting for a post-apocalyptic kind of world. It doesn't even have to be a post-apocalyptic world. This one in particular is more at the beginnings of an outbreak. It is not the be-all and end-all. The world hasn't ended. It's the beginning of an outbreak, which lends itself really, really well for Australia. But a lot of why this story works in Australia has to be discussed in spoilers, because there's some kind of reasons for why this outbreak has happened in that area, and there's a very kind of holistical approach to what they're looking to kind of push with this story. And I also say push, but I don't mean it, they're ramming an agenda down your throat. That's not what they're doing here. But there is a story being told underneath the post-apocalyptic zombie world which they've established. So we focus on Martin Freeman's character and his wife, basically at the start of the film, looking to outrun this zombie outbreak. We don't know anything about the zombies. We don't know what's happened. We get a very small snippet of information as the story progresses, and again, we'll discuss that in spoilers. And that's it, really. It's a man and a wife looking to keep their daughter safe. That's it. If you've seen the trailer, you kind of know what happens to his wife. I won't spoil it, but that is the story in and unto itself. To review it in a non-spoiler way, there's some very, very clever use of editing and also camera tricks. I say camera tricks, but it's just pan shots. So during this film, it takes a really, really long time to establish what these zombies look like. They don't show you for a really, really long time. And then you're left really wanting to see them, and you think you're about to see one, and those that have seen the film will know what I'm referring to here. And it focuses on the back of this zombie's head, and it starts to pan, and you think you're going to see the face, but you don't. Because as it pans round, the zombie turns around as well. And it's a really simple use of camera work, but it is so effective, and it leaves the viewer, the audience member, just really chomping at the bit to see what these things look like. So in terms of the cinematography and their use of editing and, like I say, camera work, it's really, really, really good. The score in this film, I especially praise, actually. I think the score is fantastic. There are some issues, though. It's not 100% perfect, and, the issues aren't massive. There's some horrible lens flare here and there. I didn't mind it so much, but I watched it with someone who pinpointed it out, and they didn't really like it that much, which I can kind of see, but as it was panning across the outback of Australia, I think it suited it quite nicely, but it's not to everyone's taste. So it's not for everyone, and there are some issues with regards to that. There is some great one-shot one take camera work as Martin Freeman pulls out of his boat, which he's on. Looks great, absolutely fantastic. Like I say, the cinematography in this is really, really good. The score goes with this movie perfectly, and it's not that they're playing any particular music, because they're not, but it's very cinematic, it's very dramatic, and it's used at really, really good points throughout the movie, because it's quite a quiet film for the most part, but when they bring the score in, it's used really, really well just to accentuate that emotion which they're trying to drive into the audience, and that part is great. So, for non-spoilers, should you go and watch this film? Absolutely you should. It's very, very good. Martin Freeman's a great actor, and I love the fact that he does these small, kind of indie, low-budget movies. This movie, it wouldn't have been made for that much money. It's on Netflix, it's in Australia, there's a lot of reasons which you can point to this film not actually costing that much money. And I really like that a high-caliber actor like Martin Freeman, personal opinions to one side whether you think he is or not, I do, I really like the fact that he still does these projects, because I think it shows great diversity, I think he enjoys what he does, and he's really good in it. All of the actors are great in this film, so should you go and watch it? Absolutely you should. So, let's talk about spoilers. The zombie outbreak is a really, really interesting take on the zombie tropes. So, basically, and this is what I was kind of referring to with regards to the story and why it's set in Australia, there are little snippets here and there as they kind of drop hints as to what is going on. The zombies hibernate, the zombies bury their head in the sand, there's a pan shot, or there is a shot anyway, of fracking, and then there's all of the Aboriginals talking to one another, stating about the earth is sick, the land is sick, and you will get sick. So it's essentially virus caused from fracking, driven up from the earth, infects people, and as a result of that, it's kind of the story which is underneath the zombie story is basically look after the earth, that sort of thing. But it's not driven home, it's not hammered into you, you don't think it's, choking you on their narrative that they're trying to push here. But it is there, and it's an interesting take, because these zombies, like I say, they do bury their head in the sand. They're looking to hibernate, so they're kind of, they're getting back to the virus's natural habitat, which is underground. The way the zombies look is really quite an interesting take. They're not amazing, but it's kind of like a pussy mess that comes across their face, and it's almost like the blood coagulates within them, and then they become this kind of mindless, flesh-eating beast of some sort. But when they show the pus-covered zombies, those are the ones which I find the most interesting, because there's a few in this movie, and not all of them have the kind of crusty yellow goo which is covering their eyes and their mouth. But that particular take on a zombie, I really liked. I thought that was great. That's very, very good. Like I say, the agenda, which is kind of running underneath the zombie movie, which is presented to you, is not a bad one. It is an interesting one. And like I said, it does lend itself nicely to Australia. So they are looking to kind of have that in there for those that are looking for it. And it is there, but it's not bad. It's not a detriment to the film. In terms of how the story pans out, there's some great characters. Vic is awesome. He is the typical guy that would occur in a zombie apocalypse. A guy which is all out for himself, he's selfish, he is weak-willed, and he's a coward. Because in the story, Vic, this is this Australian chap, which is basically looting everything he possibly can, and he set up shop next to a gas main line because he thinks that when the world rights itself, or Australia rights itself anyway, because we don't know if it's worldwide yet, he will be in control, or he will have a certain amount of power and leverage over everyone, because he has set up shop next to a gas main line. He is going around looting everything he possibly can. He's getting silvers, diamonds, watches, jewellery, you name it. He is looking to have it. And he's a great character. And you see his true cowardice at the end in a great scene, which I thought wouldn't have panned out the way it did. And there's also a testament to the balls of the director, the directors, because there's two of them, on what they were hoping to show and what they did show. At the end, as Vic's dying, because Martin Freeman has shot him, he has taken Martin Freeman's baby, and he goes to grab the baby's head. And not a lot of directors would show this. Physical violence against children is seldom shown in movies. In fact, it's incredibly rare. But it's that small moment where you can see his grip tightening, and then he releases. But it's that small moment that really makes you go, "Ah, this character's an arsehole." And it's subtle, it's there, and it's powerful, and that's really, really good. The way Martin Freeman's wife dies, horrendous. What a horrendous thing. But it also, and this is detriment to the film, of how dumb her character was, you wouldn't just go back out to the boat. Martin Freeman, for those that are here on spoilers, but they haven't seen the film, Martin Freeman and his wife and his child at the start of the film are on a boat, and they see a yacht which is kind of crashed. Well, Martin Freeman does anyway. Martin Freeman heads out whilst his wife is asleep to the boat, collects a whole bunch of stuff, but he realises that there is something in the boat. So he leaves really, really quick before disturbing it. He goes back to his wife, obviously not to upset her or worry her or concern her. He says it was absolutely fine, nothing to worry about, in and out, no issue. But here are all the things I've got, and there's so much stuff. His wife then finds an anniversary gift, a bottle of wine, which she found in the boat, and she thinks to herself, I'm going to head out and I'm going to get something for him as well. Why? Just don't do it, love. But she does. She gets bitten, and the way she dies, though, is great. And I also really like those that are here who have seen the film. I really, really like the fact that Martin Freeman, as his wife, does this big long speech. Not long, but it's emotional. This speech of, no, it's my choice. It's my choice. You don't have a say in this matter. I'm going to die. And he just goes, nah, I can't let you do that. Picks her up, puts her in the car, rips the lock off, and drives away. That part is really, really good, because that's truly probably what would happen. You're not going to leave your wife. It lends itself to a subversion of what Hollywood would normally do, and that is normally where her character would die. She would just die there, and he would drive off into the sunset and continue on, saving his baby. But it doesn't happen, and I really liked that. I really thought that was great. So it's a great story. It does have an agenda that it is pushing. Basically, save the earth, don't frack, that kind of thing. But it's not pushing it down your throat. It's there for those that are looking a little bit deeper into the movie. If you've seen Cargo, did you spot that? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, sometimes lore videos, vlogs, and a whole bunch of other stuff which I put up here on the channel, and also gaming videos as well, actually. So guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you indifferent to this film? I've rambled on for too long though, and as always, I've been Mr. H, and I'll catch you in the next video.